Outstanding. So we're here at Keesler Air Force Base, right? And we've all this is where we started from our roots, right? Chief Controller class just graduated not even an hour ago. Coming back here, talking to Chief Controllers, just being from where it all started, we'll go from Chief Gerner, Davis, and then Jackson. What are some thoughts when you come back here?
Every time I walk through these doors, it's like being re-blued in a way. It's refreshing to see the energy that comes with all the students, the eagerness, how excited they are to be here. Nobody's dragged to the Chief Controller course. They all are here to grow as leaders, and they want to be better. And it's just so refreshing, the way they open up their minds to each other, and that instant network that comes with this course. This is a team that they're going to have to support them, the rest of their careers and lives for a lot of folks. So I love coming down here. I love the opportunity to be a part of that and to learn from them as well. There's so much information that we get from the fields by sitting down with them. One of the projects they have, and I know we can't see here, but on the board there's a list of things that they're concerned about. Every class has done that since I went through the course in 2012. We did that, and looking at that board, there's a lot of things that are similar, but those are things that are either will never come to 100% completion or take an extremely long time. But there's a whole lot of things that are gone that we've taken care of, and there's new tasks. What we learn as functional leaders, career field managers, from the students here is going to help us all in the future. That's the feedback from the field we need. So while we're hopefully imparting a little knowledge on them, they're giving us a whole lot more, helping us understand exactly where we need to go.
Awesome. Chief Davis.
I don't know how I follow that up. That's, whew, you're awesome.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Okay, we'll go past Chief Davis.
Well, I'll tell you, 2010, I call up, beginning of 2011, I call up Chief Ox Wilson, right? Retired Chief Matt Sergeant, 30-year chief. He's sitting down in ATC right now as a civilian. But I call up Chief Wilson. I say, "Hey, Chief," he'd be like, "What's up, biggin?" Yeah. He's a Tennessee boy. He's a Texas boy now. He's been in Texas a long time, so let's just call him a Texas boy. I called him up and I said, "Hey, Chief, I heard this new Chief Controller course, right, coming down the pipe, and I'd like to get over there and just kind of learn, and network and be awesome. I think it's a great opportunity." He starts laughing at me. He goes, you called me with something else? I was like, he didn't even let me go to the Chief Controller course. I was like, it's
for good people, though.
It's for good people.
Yeah, it's for good people.
If he's watching this, he's probably going to agree with you. I wish I had had a chance to come to the Chief Controller course before it was generated. Chief Wilson was one of the ones that was instrumental in getting that done, along with Chief Kirk, the CFM during that time. Definitely would have wanted to come. But you know what? I've gotten to do the next best thing, and that's to come in and since 2015, 2016, come in here as a class advisor, and talking about being the re-blued piece, coming in and just coming in and learning from these kids, just like GR was saying earlier. I think it's absolutely critical. One of the things that I'm proud of is in the last 12 years, the chief controllers, along with the mentors, and I think the advisors are absolutely important. We've been able to sync and network people so much better now than we had in the past. They get to know who Chief Jackson is and Chief Gerner is, so they don't have a problem giving those individuals a call up, right? And I think that is one of the most important pieces about this course, is getting to know not only the people that are in class with you, but also the advisors that are, could be now chief controllers, but 4 years from now could be MFMs, and then follow on the CFM, right? So I think that's one of the things that I've seen that's changed over the years. Additionally, what I've seen that's changed over the years for the better. It's kind of like Chief, again, I'm going to go back to Ox Wilson. He gave me a cell phone a long time ago, and he would call me up. He would text me and just check on me, right? And I thought that's how MFMs handle business, right? I came to find out that was not the rule. That was the exception to the rule, right? But as we've grown over the years, people have taken on Chief Wilson's mentality, right? And they're able to pick the phone up at any point in time, just like Chief Jackson. So I think that's very, very important. What we need to get better at, though, is building strategic leaders. We have concentrated in the last 12 years of just building chief controllers. We need to use this 9-level course to build strategic leaders, to where when you walk into USAF headquarters or AMC headquarters or the 334, that when the first time you read the National Defense Strategy is you walking into one of these higher headquarters positions. That's where we could get better, and we are getting better, because we had our STRT last December, and after a year's worth of work to make that happen, now we're going to roll out the next Chief Controller class. This is the last Chief Controller class of the old course, right? We're moving into or looking forward to making and building strategic leaders here at the Chief Controller course, making them better Chief Controllers, but also better leaders in the future. So that's something that I'm proud of, that we've transitioned to over the last couple of years. So looking forward to seeing that course on the 12th of June. I'll be out processed from the Pentagon, but I'm going to swing by here on the way and open it up, because I know GR is not going to be able to be here. And I think it's important that we kick this course off the right way. So yeah, I love this place.
Awesome. So Chief Jackson, you actually have a little bit more history here. Your previous assignment was the SEL here, but what are your thoughts when you come back here?
For me, this place is special. It's always been special. When I walk in, I feel like I owe somebody something. Kids where I'm from, air traffic control ain't on the list of things that you're gonna be when you grow up. But I show up to the Air Force, don't really know what air traffic control is. I come here, a little bit afraid about what I'm getting ready to walk into, and there's that instructor, some civilian, some military, don't know me from Adam, and they get in your ear and say, you can do this. And if they don't do that, right, you don't get the foundation here, how do you do it operationally? You can't. And then how do you establish a 24-year career as an air traffic controller, right, without what happens here? It's so special. And I owe my entire career to those instructors who whispered in my ear when it got hard and said, you can do this. And then, you fast forward, I get the opportunity to be the SEL here for 3 years as a Chief Master Sergeant. A Chief Master Sergeant in this environment around TTGs is just an amazing thing. And you get to have...
What's a TTG?
A tech training graduate. Against an airman in training, it's special. And you get to impact and interact with about 2,000 airmen a year. Is there a better job for a controller, a chief in the Air Force? I don't think there is, personally. I just feel a great deal of gratitude when I come back here, and I love it. And it's been great being here this week. I'm getting to pour into our next generation of facility leaders. So done great things.
That's awesome. I do appreciate your time, gentlemen.
Hold up, I've got to ask you a question, bro.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we got to interview him too. Can we not?
It's your world. Still, you got a few weeks left.
You're right. Jeff Michael's been around for a while. and DT. Right? Do you know where he got his initials?
I don't.
DT. Do you know where he got his initials? DT.
No.
This is without a doubt the worst. The worst way to pick your freaking initials I've ever heard in my entire life. DT, how did you pick your initials?
So I was getting at to Beale Air Force Base,
Yep.
and the current chief controller had my initials and he asked me what my initials were. I told him PM, and he said that's not available. Those are my initials. Like, okay. And I had a stack of papers in my hand, and there was a bunch of inboxes for people to put mail and whatnot. And there's DT that was open, and I didn't want to make a new label, so I asked if DT's taken. They said, nope, okay, I'm DT, and put my mail in there.
I got your back on this. We don't have to overcomplicate everything, right? It's right there. There you go.
Just make the call. Hey, that's decisive.
Decisive.
Yeah,
Decisive.
Agreed.
What was it?
The
I think
question
someone
is,
said a good plan today is better than a perfect plan that's too late.
amen on that. So you don't know I'm about to ask you this question, but you're going to answer it. So your deployment when you were on and outside the wire at times, and you saw the situation you were put in, and everything we talk about, me and you have talked about, and because we've been on the phone a shit ton, right? Over the last few years, since what, 17? What do you think? What do you think about where we're going with our mindset with or vision with the deployed operations and getting after stuff to be able to prepare our people better in the future? I know that's something that's near and dear to your heart. I just want you to first give a little outline about where you were, what you had to do, and then tell me if you think we're on track as far as the vision moving forward. Go.
So I've been on a couple deployments where I go outside the wire, and in both those cases, I didn't really receive formal training the first time, and then the second time it was for LZSO, and that was actually at the course that first run of the first or second.
It's the first. It was
First run of the course over in Germany, and I did it, but only because it was a requirement in my reporting instructions, but I was not going to initially do any LZSO. Fast forward to me actually deploying, and I actually needed it. And it was one of those things where, thank God I had the training. And not just to do the job initially, but thank God I had the background knowledge as well as how those type of operations work, We have spent a lot of time deploying and not preparing our airmen in the past. We spent the better part of a decade sending people to do LZSO with no training, and that's a foul. That's
Amen, brother.
It's a hard thing to do, to learn, and I know everybody as a chief controller wants to prepare their airmen. One of the things that we're going to have to look at as chief controllers or leaders is we're going to ask our airmen to do things we have never done before, and we're going to ask them to do it in harm's way. And that's a difficult ask. So we owe it to our airmen to get them as ready as we can. And I do like the strategic look, if you will, of how we're getting about it, how we're going to do it. And I like how we are not just looking at how do we put an air traffic controller in a deployed location to do air traffic control. We're putting air traffic controllers because we have a very unique skill set that's highly sought after across the entire globe. When a U.S. Air Force air traffic controller walks into a foreign country's air traffic control facility, they know a lot about that person because of the background we come from. When things happen across the world and there's either a crisis or something like that, countries are asking for U.S. Air Force air traffic controllers. They're not asking for FAA controllers. They're not asking for Army controllers. They're asking for U.S. Air Force air traffic controllers, and that's because we've built a reputation to be able to go in and handle what the situation is, even though we might not have a lot of training in that particular area. So I do like where we're going with it. I think we need to build some more TTPs, tactics training and procedures, and that's really going to come with a mind shift. right? We always talk about making the warrior mindset. And that's one of those things that I think we are doing a decent job at instilling into our chief controllers. But whenever the mission actually calls and we actually see what it looks like, I think we'll have a open mind to figure out where we need to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to the getting lucky, right? Getting lucky with stuff. We've been pulling this off because, one, our airmen are really, really good. They're good because they're not only their skill set calls for someone that can adapt and flex very, very quickly, very easily, right? But we've gotten lucky, and that's why we built that course over in USAF. And I'd hat tip then Senior Master Sergeant Jen Michaels, now Chief Michaels, now then Senior Master Sergeant Destiny Hager, but now Chief Master Sergeant Destiny Hager, ma'am. And please, if you see Chief Hager, she has to be called Chief Hager, ma'am. She takes it as a disrespect if you do otherwise. So Master Sergeant retired Larry Joe Martinez, and then Master Sergeant now Senior Master Sergeant Dickie Rinks. All had a hand in building that course, and it was one of those deals where we just got lucky, right? Got lucky because you had people like them, along with the people we teamed with over to the CRG to build that course. We don't win off of luck is not a freaking plan, and that's why we have to continue to build these courses and give our airmen the training, as you said, they deserve. They deserve better. We need to continue to give them better. And that's what these two guys and the rest of the MFM team is definitely focused on. They want to leave it better than they found it, and they know that our kids deserve better than we had. Because as you said, they're going to be asked to do things that we never did, or maybe we did, but was considered, as my boss, Colonel Shafik, says, considered a one-off. And we can't operate like that anymore. We know that. And the MFMs know that, and that's why we're pushing in that direction. Building not only from the training courses, but building strategic leaders at the schoolhouse, deliberately developing our chief mass sergeants, getting them ready for the next step. It's very, very important we do that, develop our airmen from airman basic all the way to chief mass sergeant, and then on to the CFM. Chief Jackson, do you have anything to say about that? Okay. Chief Gerner?
Change is tough.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
100%.
And we know the challenge that's in front of us. We know where our pacing threats are, and to be ready for those, we need to get uncomfortable, because that the discomfort means we're growing, means we're changing. When these challenges show up at our doors, and this isn't just for our airmen or our NCOs, this is for all of us. Our functional staffs are going to have to change. It's uncomfortable. Let's get comfortable being uncomfortable. Let's come together, continue to come together as a team, relying on each other. We will be successful. We will be victorious, but it's going to take a little uncomfort and a whole lot of trust with each other.
For sure.
TT, I know we're about to wrap it up. If we could give starting with Chief Jackson, the ability just to final parting shots or closing comments.
I just want to congratulate you, GR, and let you know, watching you operate, it's impressive. The level of emotional intelligence you bring to our interactions at AFPC and the things you're trying to get after in your AOR, it's impressive. I know you're ready, and you're going to take the career field to that next thing. Absolutely. You have my support from the AFPC wing. We got your back. We're proud, and you're going to do great things. Chief Davis, 30 years, man, I'm proud of you, brother. I'm sad to see you go, but you're coming to a good place. What better place to end it all than down in God's country? I'll be there.
Hey, it's time to go fishing, brother.
It's time, man. Congratulations on an outstanding career.
Thanks,
I'm
buddy.
proud of you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Love you, man.
Larry, thank you for the kind words. The team, your team, the functional teams have been unbelievably supportive, and the outreach, once we made the news public here, the outreach from everybody in support has been overwhelming, and I'm very appreciative. So I think that's the best way to say is thanks. And I'm going to hold true to what I'm offering today, which is my dedication and commitment and drive. We're not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. We're not going to, just as these initiatives we've been working on together for the last 3 years, there's more to come. And we're going to start things tomorrow that are going to take years to accomplish. But I'm in it. I'm excited about being part of the team, and I appreciate the kind words. I wouldn't be here today and without the support of my family. Katie, John, Ash, Gretchen, thank you. Always having my back. Countless days away, countless recitals missed and birthdays missed, as many of us have gone through. But I would not be here without them. So thank you. DT, thanks for this opportunity. As I transition hats from USAF to the Pentagon, I got to tell you, the support that the AFSA team has provided me and my team over the last 3 years has been priceless. We wouldn't have been able to do what we did without you. A lot of those random questions about how do we do this in foreign nations, or hey, can we do this at all? Immediate responses and support. There's no price to be put on that, and I'll be eternally grateful to the USAF team that I'm sad to leave, but I'm excited to be a part of in another way. And the other match comes to USAF. Thank you for your trust. You are dug in today in support of our allies. We've asked you to do things that were unfair. We couldn't get you enough man, and we couldn't get you enough time, and everyone buckled up and we got after it. And I'm so proud to have been a part of that, and I know we're doing great things with Chief Alford taking over. Excited to see where USAF goes, but I'll still be part of that team in a different way, so thank you. I appreciate the kind words from Chief Davis. Thanks for the trust. I know it's a lot to hand the stick over, but thank you for the trust. Since I met you first in 2016, and every day you've been supportive. Today we were talking a little bit of stories, and I leaned over to Larry and I said, BD gave me that same advice, 6 years ago, and I'm glad he did. So, BD, thanks for the trust. Thanks for helping me grow into a better person and a better chief. I'll be extremely grateful, and it's going to be the first day after you retire, and then many days after, I'm sure. But don't be shocked in a year when I'm reaching out for a little bit of advice. So, thank you.
You're welcome. And we're all, I'm always available. So, 1 second, real quick. Before I say something, all right, good deal.
Appreciate that. It's been
All
a
right.
while.
It's like rubbing a bunny.
It's like you're rubbing a bunny.
Hold on.
Yeah, 30 years for a long time, but it's been a hell of a ride. Son of a bitch. Long time, hell of a ride. For the job, I don't think that people understand that I'm lucky to have had my career. It's about as, I don't know if you might get as good, but you're not going to see a better career than I've had. And it's because the job we get to do, 1, it's the best job you can have. 2, the places I've gotten to see, crazy, just stupid. I mean, no one should have the opportunity or very few people should have the opportunity to see this. I'm just nuts. But 3, the most important piece is the people I get to work with, every single day, and the ones that I've seen over and over and over again, Larry Jackson being one of them, right? It's pretty awesome, so, excuse me. But I will say that couldn't get through it without my air traffic control family, and additionally my family at home. And you mentioned yours, right? And I, the 2 guys up here, very few other wives have had to deal with what my wife Charlotte Davis has had to deal with. But I would say that her job's, it's not as hard as your girl's job, you know, because she gets to be with me, you know. You know, she's lucky to have me.
We're not supposed to curse on here.
No, I'll tell you what, Charlotte, it's harder than anyone else because not only the time away, she has held a job constantly for 23 years. She has buckled down and taken care of all 4 of our kids constantly, and throughout all. And then obviously, I'm pretty tough to live with, right? But I'll tell you, she said, hey, I can't wait till you get home, right? Can't wait till you get home. I'm like, be careful what you ask for. You're about to get it. But yes, DT, thanks for doing this for us. We really appreciate you stepping up. You didn't have to do this, and we do thank you very, very much.
Appreciate it. All right. Well, I think that concludes our podcast. Thanks again, gentlemen. Have a good day.
He called me.